welcome back to Secret Surge. We have our second guest. We have Katie EIDEM here. Did I say that right this time? Yay.
You did.
Okay, Katie, welcome. Thank you for taking some time to talk with us about your experiences and just your life as an athlete. Katie graduated from Arizona State in 2022, it looks like. She is a heptathlete, multi-athlete. She's now competing at the pro level after graduating. She is unsponsored. She doesn't have a contract, although I believe she has some smaller sponsorships that we'll talk about. Her social media platform is great. She has 15.6 thousand followers on Instagram, 30.6 thousand on TikTok, and she has a YouTube channel as well. She has a link for coaching in her bio, and she is creating like motivational content and personal journey updates. It's been really awesome to see her, and I would categorize her profile as like very bright colors and just high energy and awesome like hairdos as well. That's what I saw when I first found you.
When you told me that Katie was going to join us, I did hop on your Instagram, and that was exactly what I thought as well. Bright colors, and I was like, I want to be where she is right now because it looks so vibrant, so colorful, and yeah, you look like a very fun person to have on the show.
Yes, the space buns. Oh my gosh. When did you decide that you wanted to compete at the pro level post-collegiately? Or was there a defining moment for you where you thought, I think that I can, be a professional in this area?
Yeah, so I switched over to the heptathlon. My coach switched me over as a junior in college. So all throughout college, it was like, I'm trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm so far behind because everyone else has at least like all of a college career, if not into high school, of experience doing 7 different events. So I guess to explain the heptathlon to like viewers who might not know what it is, it's 7 events over 2 days. So day 1 is the 100-meter hurdles, high jump, shot put, and the 200. And then you come back on day, you long jump, you throw javelin, and you run the 800. So it's a wide variety of events, and it takes a long time to be able to figure out. And my college coach kind of hinted, like, I hope you're still doing this when you're 25 or 26, which I'm 25, turning 26 right now. And I am. So he kind of planted that seed and made me believe that I could be really good at it if I just keep training over time. And I think this is probably the first year where all of like the fruits of like my really hard work is finally starting to pay off. So yeah,
that seems evident because you just competed at the US Indoor Championships, and correct me if I think it was 4 PBs?
Yeah, well, I think 2, but then an overall event PR.
Yes, that was it.
Pretty much had a PR in almost every event this indoor season at one point or the other. So it's been going really well.
A good start to the year.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, was that your highest place that you've had at like a national level meet?
Yeah, yep, that was 6th, and yeah, it was Anna Hall's kind of like the face of the heptathlon in the US and honestly in the world too. So she wasn't there this year, but I mean, aside from that, I think the competition has just evolved so much over the years where you're like, oh, well, she's not there, so maybe it's not quite such a high level, but everyone's just evolved to become really good that it's still a really competitive meet, and we all push each other, and I think almost everybody had a PB, and yeah, it was a really fun meet to be part of, for sure. They included us with everyone, which a lot of times, like the combined events, they kind of push off to the side, and they're like, we don't really know what to do with you, so it made us feel like we were appreciated, even though people were there, maybe not to watch us, but it made it feel like they were.
Well, it's one you can definitely follow along with the story if you're exposed to it. It's really interesting to watch. Like the coverage you get over the Olympics is great, and you really get to see the kind of highs and lows that come with, you can't really make a mistake. If you make a mistake in one event, it's almost over for you. And we saw a lot of dramatic stories of that in the most recent Olympics.
Yes.
So if you're given the opportunity, it's a really, really fun sport to follow, and I would put out to anyone watching that's interested in track to really give it a chance.
Yeah. Stevie did it. I think we talked in the last episode. She did it for a short time.
Yeah, I did it as a teenager when I first started running. And that was just because I absolutely love competing. I loved all the events. I was very much naturally good at the running, which is how that took over, but I loved jumping. I was terrible at throwing, but it was involved in the heptathlon, so I gave it a go. And it was just so much fun.
I think, were you a jumper also in college, Katie, before you switched over?
Yeah, primarily a high jumper.
Yeah.
I came with 400 background, and so I high jumped, ran a lot of like the 4x4 and stuff like that. And then, I made the transition.
Nice.
Have you found that your speciality has changed at all, or perhaps your favorite to train for?
I think it's actually interesting because I had no experience in like hurdles or long jump at all, and those are my favorite events right now. It's interesting how things change, but kind of like you, I had a big running background. When I was younger, it was 400, 800. As I got older, it was more 200, 400. But the 800's always been a really strong event for me. Not quite strong enough to quit the hep and go run the 800 or the 400, but kind of similar to you, the running events have always been really strong for me.
You can pick up some points in those as well. The
Sure.
last event, I don't know how they did it for the US Indoor Champs, but I really like when they have the total points score going along the side of the screen, which will tell you like how the positions are changing during the 800 to see who will win the whole event.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, it's always interesting because it's not about who wins, it's by how much you win by, or how many milliseconds you're in front of so and so. It's very technical, and yeah, having that like points board on the side really helps because most people, I mean, I couldn't even explain to you how the algorithm of the scoring works. I have no idea. I just try to run fast.
People would probably agree it's the most like athletic event in track and field. Like, you know, you're like the full package athlete. So right now, do you have any smaller sponsors, and who are those smaller sponsors?
Yeah, so I think with me doing so much social media, it's kind of hard to draw the line. Ask what I do. I'm like, I run track, but I also do social media. And I mean, to be honest, like my sponsorships come from being like more of the influencer, not so much the runner. So I have worked with First Form. They have more of like an affiliate program that you have the potential to earn a lot of income through. I've also, people always ask me, they're like, you wear Adidas when you compete, but like you're not an Adidas athlete. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I have done quite a few brand deals on social media with Adidas, which is different from being an Adidas sponsored athlete. But I mean, I've worked with them on TikTok, Instagram, now YouTube and Pinterest, so like a variety there. But deals like that where especially during track season, they pick up with all the kids that, I mean, really from February to people do summer track through July. That's when the brand deals are at the biggest, and then they kind of wean off from there. So you really gotta make sure you get a bang for your buck and do the best you can and capitalize on those 6 months, because the other 6 months of the year, at least for me, are pretty dry.
Yeah, can you explain the brand deals a little bit more? Because I don't think I've ever done that, or like, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so I mean, I know with NIL in like college athletics world right now, it was my 5th year senior year when that first kind of became a thing. So I reached out to Bang Energy because that was the energy drink that I was drinking like an unhealthy amount of at the time. And so I ended up doing a deal with them, and that was kind of like how I started to learn about social media and brand deals and kind of like the money you could make off of social media. And especially in our sport, like if you're not trying to capitalize on every single avenue, then I mean, it's really hard to make money in professional running, as you guys know. So that was kind of my foot in the door. Honestly, I really sucked at making content right away. If I looked back at the stuff I made 4 years ago, it's really cringe. I can't even watch it. But to just evolve that over the years and figure out what people want to see, and then brands look at your page and they're like, oh wow, this is actually like, you can tag them and stuff, and they'll see like you're incorporating their products into your content. You're not getting paid for it, but you're just sharing it in a really organic way that seems like, I mean, your followers, your audience, anybody who sees that would be like, wow, yeah, I kind of want to like have this energy gel, or these shoes look like they really help her run well, or you know, any brand that would see your stuff. I've done a lot of gifted things with like, I think it's Lactigo, like a lactic acid kind of lotion, or any kind of recovery items. I mean, the list goes on and on from what we'd use. So I guess just incorporating it really organically, and then the brands kind of come to you, because when you reach out to, I mean, who knows how many hundreds or thousands of people are reaching out to some of the brands you want to work with. You're just going to get buried in their inbox, but you can make them come to you. It's, I'd say money, but you know, it's a little bit of money.
Yeah, so you started content creating, you said about 4 years ago then?
Yeah.
And then at what point At what point did the brand start to come to you?
Yeah, I was reaching out first. I think you have to before brands really come to you a lot. But I think as I started to kind of post and grow and the momentum carries from there, I kind of probably a couple years in, so I'd say probably 2 years ago, that's when I started having more brands reach out, a lot of gifted, which is frustrating obviously unless you really want a product. That's gifted can be great, but at the end of the day you're putting in a lot of time and effort to try to figure out how you want to shoot the video. Sometimes they want revisions if they're, they get picky. So at that point, it's like, well, I'm pouring in all this time and effort. Like it's a job. So like you should be getting paid for it. So unless it's like a product that you're like, oh my gosh, like I would have spent like $500 on this on my own. Like I'm so happy to do a gifted collab, but yeah, it takes time.
Yeah,
but yeah, it probably took a good 2 years.
It is work to film all the content, edit. You have to learn how to use the software a lot of the time, and just the creative storytelling of it as well. So it can be a lot of work.
So these are also like are these like one-time deals where, like, for example, your Adidas one, was that like recurring, or was it like you're gonna make whatever this content for us for this specific like week and then it's a one-time payment, or is it actually like, I guess, continuous?
Yeah, so Adidas it's a one-time thing, and then they had reached out again this year, so kind of seasonal throughout track season. You meet the needs and there's always a hope to work with them in the future. I've done deals with supplement companies though, where it is like, hey, post this monthly. My deal with Bang Energy was also to post monthly, and that was recurring, which is always nice to get recurring deals because then you have kind of an idea of what you're going to be making.
Yes.
Yeah, so recurring deals are definitely nice. They're also less than the one-time deals, but definitely more consistent and a little bit makes you feel a little bit better there.
Did you ever expect it to get to this level with your content creation, that you would be getting paid to make it or getting these brand deals? Like, would you recommend it to other runners? I
think, and I've been told this a lot, like in this profession, you almost have to maximize your social media presence in order to not be successful. But I mean, I know on one of your past episodes you talked about you try to figure out the one-off jobs like dog walking or DoorDash or Uber Eats, which like I've been there. I've done a lot of freelance gigs, and it's doing what we do and coming from a hard workout, and you don't really want to have to go out and walk dogs or drive for Uber or DoorDash or whatever. So like if you can sit on the couch and go through your camera roll, and I mean, you're still working, but at the end of the day, it's not physical labor that's already kind of adding to what you've taxed your body with. So I kind of knew then I wanted to pursue social media more. And you see the whole era of TikTok blowing up, and people are like, I've made like $500,000 past year on TikTok. Like, you can do it too, and you're like, okay, well, slow down.
It's a target audience. I don't know.
It's a target audience,
athletics is still like not quite the forefront of
for sure.
TikTok.
And it's frustrating too, because I've had companies that I've worked with, or like agents, not track agents, but like marketing agents, reach out and be like, well, the reason people want to work with you isn't because of your sport, it's not because you're athletic, it's because you're a girl and you look this way, which is very frustrating to hear. It's very frustrating to hear because obviously we work our tails off to try to be the most badass athlete we can, and it's like, can you not just see that instead of looking at me for like my body? So hopefully, I would love to see a shift in people truly appreciating the sport and what we do, but unfortunately right now it's just not there.
Yeah, and it's a shame to hear that you still get, I guess, comments in professional settings, and that's still kind of what people are looking for.
Well, it's marketing agencies know that, and I don't really know, honestly, if that's ever going to change at that level. Like, people want to see pretty women, and that's like just kind of a thing, and it helps, obviously, like, you're gorgeous, like, you have, like, that's awesome, but at the same time, it is a little bit like, okay, I don't want to, like, with my stuff, I don't want to have that be the forefront. Like, I always try to make it based on, like, I'm actually doing something, like, you're hurdling in your videos, like, you are doing all this stuff in your videos.
Well, I love, like, running social media content creators, and even not runners as well, just kind of people showing an active lifestyle. I find it's like you might click on the profile initially because it's a really cool looking video, or it's like a pretty outfit. I love a little outfit inspo. But then you look through the videos and like the personality. I love seeing the personalities behind the scenes, and that is what will make me follow someone. If I see someone that's like capturing like their personality, giving their views, then I'm like, I want to see more of this.
And you don't have to answer this, but I put it on here anyway. So how much do you make from content creation, and do you need to work an outside job to like make ends meet?
Oh, this is a good question. It's something that I wish that there was more information about out there, especially when I was like, I want to make that decision to run post-collegiately, professionally, kind of like I talked about. My income fluctuates a lot depending on what month it is, what time of year it is, in season, out of season. The brand deals, I'd say I pull in a couple thousand from social media monthly, and if it's on the lower end, I will supplement with like doing things like Uber Eats. Like I said, I've also worked some freelance jobs. I went to college for 5 years. I majored in computer information systems, supply chain management, and I got a certificate in data analytics. And when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, what do you do now?" And I'm like, I don't use any of that. I do social media. Like, it is what it is. You know, maybe in the future, I mean, I guess I budget on Excel, so I'm really good at using Excel. There's that.
Well, it's a great degree to have, and I'm sure that you've got plenty of time to be a data analyst.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know that goes forever. Running is only
everyone needs a data analyst.
So yeah, maybe in the future. But I mean, I've done some freelance gigs with like program management or kind of market research, things like that. That's 2-3 month gigs. I've coached high school a little bit, which I found when you're coaching and you're competing at the same time for yourself, it gets really challenging. So now I'll do kind of one-on-one coaching with athletes who are specifically looking for, extra work, which is nice because that means that they want to be there, they want to get better. So I'll do that, which is nice because it conforms more to my schedule of training, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, no, I definitely supplement outside of social media. The goal would be to not have to do that. Yeah, but for right now, we do what we have to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like you've got a lot going on, especially juggling 7 events and then social media, coaching, and then if you need to do any extra, it sounds like a very busy schedule. Must be very organized.
Busy, I have to be. I try to be.
I think one of the things that I was struggling with social media creation, because I would say I'm not nearly as organized as you in it. I haven't been able to figure out this regular posting schedule, which is exactly what the algorithm wants and stuff like that. And I tend to notice if I don't have a plan for the day, like your work day, for example, for you is involving creating these videos, editing. If I don't give myself an actual schedule, I just get lost, and then I end up spending 3 hours on a video that was supposed to take 30 minutes, and then I'm like, God, this sucks, I'm done.
Oh, 100%. I've been there, and I found that weekends, especially when I'm not traveling to compete, if I can hash out planning. So for example, I've posted a video every single day on Instagram since October 1st, and I'm like, if I can just, it was originally going to be a 90-day challenge for me. And then I'm like, you know what? I might as well just keep going since I'm seeing some growth, and you never know when it's going to be that one video, 2 videos that are just going to boom, and then you're up to 50K. I mean, speak it into existence by all means. But,
yes, exactly. Do it.
But I mean, I really just have my notes app on my phone, and then if I can go through week by week and be like, Monday I want to post something that's motivational. Tuesday, I want to try to push out an event tip. I've got 7 events to choose from, so I should never really run out of ideas.
Yeah.
Wednesday, if I can, how can I stay healthy during track season, or kind of answer a question. So kind of having a topic for every day, or if I was going to do 3 days a week, then maybe Monday's still motivational. Wednesday is educational again, and Friday's this is what I'm doing, follow along. But I found that if I don't plan it out, and I'm okay, I wake up and what am I going to post today? It's, oh my gosh, it's the same thing as you. I'm 3 hours in because I'm scrolling on social media trying to find inspiration, and then I'm oh, I'm just scrolling on watching puppy videos now because I'm
yes.
Oh, that dog was so cute, and then I'm down a rabbit hole that. What was I supposed to do?
I think we spoke about that before, where it was we're trying to think of ideas, and in the end we're literally just scrolling.
Yeah.
The doom scrolling, yeah.
Yeah, if I don't plan ahead, it's definitely a lot more challenging than it has to be.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to take some of your advice because I've tried a little bit of Instagram and TikTok and even tried a bit of YouTube. Nowhere near on the following that you have, but I really enjoy it, and to be able to challenge yourself like that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's cool too because like going to USA Championships like a couple weeks ago, I'm not the best athlete there. Like, there's people taking pictures with like Grant Fisher, like Nikki Hiltz, and like all these like badass people, and I'm like, yeah, I just post a lot on social media, but there's all these little girls after my 800 and they're like, oh my gosh, can we take a picture with you? And I'm like,
so great.
You're gonna put me in the same like frame as Nikki Hiltz? Like I feel I don't deserve that, but it's cool what social media will do, or just traveling places where they're like, I follow you on TikTok, and I'm like, thanks. Like I could be in tears after a race, but that it means that there's a whole bunch of people in your corner that you don't even realize are in your corner, and it means a lot through the highs and the lows for sure.
That's so great, and such a community as well.
Yeah, to be able to have that reach to younger athletes, that is the good thing about social media, is it's reaching younger athletes. That's what they're looking at. They might not be watching the live stream of like the whatever 1500 meter final,
because Lord knows there probably isn't one.
Yeah, I know, exactly, but I mean some of them are, but yeah, it's another outlet for them to connect with women like yourself that are just trying to go pro and like are going pro, and they're making their dream come true. What would you say your biggest accomplishment is to date athletically?
Probably my pentathlon that I just had.
Okay.
I really struggled with consistency, and I mean doing the training for like the combined events for like 4 or 5 years. You get to train for each event like once a week, whereas if you're like a hurdle specialist, you're probably hurdling 3 times a week. So it's like the time it takes to really like learn something and get consistent at it and like work out the kinks, like it takes so much time, which is why I have athletes. It's like you don't really reach your peak till you're like 30, because by the time you're 30, you've had enough of each event practice to probably equal like a 23-year-old. It just takes time. So it's like I probably came off the worst year of my athletic career last year, trying to make Olympic trials and not getting there, and just being hurt all year round and pushing my body in ways that I knew weren't good, but I'm like, I have to make it, and just having the worst year and contemplating retirement. And then, you know, I made a coaching change, came back this year, figured some things out, and to have it all work out consistently and to not really have a bad meet, and then to cap it off at US Championships with a lot of PRs, it was really special. And it feels good to finally be on the up and up after struggling for so many years.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really, admirable to keep going when things are tough, and to kind of figure out what you need to change and to see those changes pay off.
Yeah, and that your biggest accomplishment is this year and happened so recently. That really pushes you forward.
You just touched on it. You said that you were amongst all these big names like Grant Fisher, all these people at this huge meet, and you're like, oh, I don't deserve it, but you've got there, you've qualified to get there, and you've got these people cheering on you on. How was the experience being at the US Indoor Champs? Was there anything you had
amazing
to battle, or how was your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, and I think this was my 3rd indoor championships. So my first year in 2023, we were in Albuquerque, and we were kind of the first event. There wasn't a whole lot of, there was a race walk going on, but other than that, like, no one wants to watch the combined events. Not a whole lot of people coming to watch the race walk. So there was like barely a soul in there. Last year, they actually shipped the combined events off to Indianapolis 3 weeks before the regular championships. So there wasn't a soul there, and we're just kind of out there by ourselves. Like, I didn't even get a credential last year. Like, anybody could have showed up and been me, which is crazy at a U.S. championship. So, I mean, it feels like you don't really, like, no one cares. And the first couple years I struggled with, like, do you belong here? Like, is this, because things weren't going well. Like, I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. Like, maybe I need to just pursue one of my degrees that I also went to college for 5 years. And then this year, I think coming off of 2024 being the worst year of my career to now the start of the best one, hopefully, it felt amazing to be out there with everyone else, even if, like I said, they weren't there to watch us specifically, but the fact that we were mixed into everybody. And in the warm-up area, there's like Masai Russell's down there warming up for hurdles, Matthew Bowling's there running, like getting ready to run the 400. Like, there's all these people, and you're there and you're like, well, I earned a spot here too. Like, I deserve to be here. And I think this was the first year that I trusted in my training and truly felt confident going into it. And because of that, like the anxiety wasn't, as prevalent as it had been in the past. And I feel like I was actually able to enjoy the competition and kind of sit back and take in the moment rather than just be like in that fight or flight, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing terrible, like what can I do, claw back feeling. So it was, I told a couple of the girls too, because like the heptathlon, the combined events community, we're all friends pretty much. So to be able to talk to them and be like, this is the most fun I've ever had, and they're like, same, this was like an amazing experience for all of us.
That's so great. That's really, really nice to hear.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So it's been a successful start of the year, success at the US Indoor Champs, and hopefully with that success can bring more opportunities for you. And I wondered if you could have your dream contract, who would it be with? What would you want?
I love Adidas. Already look like a lot of people already think I'm an Adidas athlete just because, like I said, I wear Adidas. I went to an Adidas sponsored school. I was a big Nike girl in high school. Honestly, whoever would come my way, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with. But I mean, Adidas has always been near and dear to my heart for the past like 5-6 years. So I think that would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, they sound like a good fit and already somewhat of a relationship there. So
yeah, that definitely helps, having that relationship to start out with and connections.
I'm seeing a few more people now getting sponsorship deals as runners, but also through content creation. Yeah. And it's almost like two separate contracts for the person. It will be, you get the typical athlete contract, but then you might also have a social media one, which for the bigger content creators is like, you're showing off their stuff every week when you post. So it's nice to see it kind of evolve there.
I'm wondering, Katie, if you've ever tried to do this, or do you have an agent?
I don't know.
Have you ever tried to work with somebody to propose like your own contract? Like, this is what, I will, whatever, 10 grand a year. Let's say like low end 10 grand a year. Have you ever thought about writing somebody with basically your own contract and being like, what do you think of this?
I haven't. That's interesting. Yeah, I think the contract space, it's already so not talked about in our sport. So, I'll have to think about that. I think I think it goes back to the confidence thing. I always struggled and I knew there was so much more left of my performance that I could put out there. And I think I never really felt confident in where I was at to do that. So, hopefully continuing with the momentum that I've had from indoor to be able to put up some good outdoor scores and to kind of be able to establish myself on the international level next, I would definitely feel more confident and comfortable doing something like that. So, I'll definitely keep it in mind.
Yes, especially after that performance, I think you should. Yeah.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah,
a lot of it can be confidence and kind of taking an opportunity. Because I know for myself, when I inquired about joining the Mammoth Track Club, I didn't have the standards that they needed, but I still took a shot. You put myself out there to go visit, to like make it work, and then once joining the team, I actually hit the standards. Initially, it was like just reaching out and giving it a go.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think the same goes to getting into big meets too. The worst they can say is no.
The worst they can say is no.
And then you're even more on the radar. They're like, she's like serious. Okay, like, yeah, I think that's awesome.
Companies do like it when like you reach out. Not if it's just, reach out, will you send me this? It's like you kind of got to show like your worth to them, but like they're willing to listen a lot of the time.
Yeah, I did that recently with like a running store here that proposed to, or they wanted to help me, and I just wrote out kind of like a document. Obviously, it wasn't nearly as detailed as maybe one to like Adidas or a big company would be, but it was like, I will provide like this or this or this for you, like run club help, whatever, how many postings you would want, highlighting this. And then in exchange, for me, I would like some gear, maybe some travel stipends. So I did do that. I sent that out a while ago, but I actually did get a full-time job. So I am working full-time now. I went back to engineering. I don't think I've said that on the podcast. So I've been working 3 weeks at a hybrid engineering job. And the decision to do that was a little bit like nerve-wracking because I hadn't been at like the like professional I guess, athlete level for that long or trying to be a pro. But yeah, for me, I just decided to go back into working, and at least for a time. But so we'll stay tuned for that, how that goes. It is a hybrid job, so it's a little bit easier. So
yeah, well, maybe you'll be able to give us
too.
some tips and tricks for the audience. You can tell us how to manage it.
People still, like we've said, people are still working full time and trying to run. So it's, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Okay, so to end this episode, I just had like a couple fun questions, just like you don't have to think about them that hard, but
quick fire round.
Yeah, this is the quick fire round. Okay,
Alright. What is your weirdest social media interaction?
My weirdest social media interaction? Okay, well, I'll tell you this. It's not really, I'm not interacting with people, but people that have interacted with me. I posted a video and it kind of goes back to people like, oh, like it's not about what you do, it's about how you look. So I posted knowing that in a block start, me getting into the blocks, some slow-mo clips included from behind.
There we go. Use your imagination.
I'm wearing green shorts, and the video probably has like 3 or 4 million views, but people are like debating whether or not I have butt sweat in the video. And it's like a whole viral thing of like girls defending me. No, it's a shadow. That's what happens. And I'm like, I mean, I think it's a shadow. I don't really think I'm sweaty there, but whatever. Like, I don't know.
Butt sweat. It's normal, like, even if it was
like,
there.
What are you guys doing? But like, you guys are blowing up my video by doing that. So thank you. It's a whole
big debate
in the comments. And it's been going on for months, so.
That's kind of a funny one to, like, for that to be the topic as well.
Oh my god.
It kind of it made me think of, do you remember when they tried the front camera view of the block starts where they had like the camera was like looking up at people's noses? It was like, so awful as they started. And they're like, why did they do this?
Oh my gosh. People amaze me, dude. Wow. I
think
I
that
don't know
lasted
why I'm surprised anymore. Yeah. Okay, next one. This is my question. Do you eat fast food? And if you don't, what's your typical like go-to like?
I do. I'm a big Cane's girly. On the weekends or Friday, whatever. I literally said after my I say 200 repeats. I had 200s pretty much all out this Wednesday, and I think I had a donut the night before, and I was literally on the bathroom floor dying. And I was like Snapchat my boyfriend. I was like, we can't eat this crap during the weekend anymore. I'm dying. No, we have sleep for the weekend. So I'm like, no, I definitely don't eat as healthy. I mean, I am blessed to be able to work out 4 to 5 hours a day and still have a good metabolism and be able to have abs eating whatever the heck I want. After I'm done, is that going to have to change? Absolutely. But no, I think I'll eat mindful. I try to make sure I get enough protein, enough of the good carbs in, and then if I feel like I have a sweet tooth coming on, I'll indulge a little bit, but not too much. So I'm not like, cut all the brownies, cookies, all the fun stuff out of life. I don't do that.
Mm-mm. I do not do that either.
No, no desire to cut out brownies.
No.
Yeah. All right, do you have any secret talents outside of running?
Secret talents?
Party tricks or...
Gosh. I don't.
Here's another way to like think of it. Like when you're in one of those typical get to know people events and they're like, give us one fun fact about you.
I know, the icebreaker question.
Yes.
I guess a fun fact. It doesn't have to be a secret talent.
Fun fact. This is so random.
It was fair.
But I can do this like
with your tongue? Oh, the clover thing?
So anyone watching, anyone just listening to the audio, click on
yeah, everything with my tongue. That's about all I got. But yeah, no, I was it's hilarious. The story behind that, I could like do that. And when I was like really little, I touched like poison ivy or something, and my aunt took me in. I was crying, whatever, and she's like, this is like the magic, whatever, it'll make you all the things go away, and then you'll be able to get like this really cool trick with, and she could do it. And then I like a year later, I was like, I can do it too. Like, this is magic. Like, you said it was going to work, and it worked. And I had to have been, like, 6 years old. But anyways.
Spider-Man.
So God,
I don't know what you guys were expecting, but I can do a little clover thing with my tongue.
That is exactly the kind of fun secret talent I was looking for.
Yes.
That was never an icebreaker I shared in college, so you guys got the exclusive there.
Yay!
Exclusive news.
I love that.
That's so funny.
Okay. Well, we're pretty much at time, so I guess the last thing we've asked our we asked Carrie on the last episode, can you leave our listeners with like a piece of advice or just something motivational based on your experience?
Yeah, I would say you don't have to be the best in order to become the best. And I feel like that's just kind of like been the best way to sum up my career thus far. Like I was so far behind when I started. I was such a late bloomer, but I just kept working and knew what I wanted. And I'm so freaking stubborn. And I knew that like I was just going to keep chipping away at it. And I feel like I'm finally starting to see the payoff, and hopefully the momentum keeps building. But I definitely wasn't the best when I started. It was really ugly when I started, but that where you start doesn't mean that's where you have to finish. I guess to anybody who's thinking about trying something, go for it. And if it doesn't work out, keep trying or pivot and give the other thing a try. You don't have to be the best in order to become the best. That's what I have.
I love that.
I like that.
Yeah.
No regrets.
And it's a journey. It's a journey. It doesn't just happen like
100%.
that.
100%.
Yeah. And I think, we'll definitely have to encourage people to start watching the heptathlon a bit more, the heptathlon and decathlons. I mean, I'm already doing it, but it's so much fun to follow. I think maybe it's just the figuring out how to broadcast it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of follow, where can people follow you on Instagram and or YouTube?
Yeah, my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are all at Katie EIDEM, so KATIEEIDEM. Keep it simple. So.
Easy. Yes.
Easy.
We are definitely going to tag that too. I think I subscribed to you right before this.
Yeah, and so thank you very much for joining us and taking time from your busy schedule. Do you have any more training to do today?
Well, you guys were talking about your long runs today. I have a long run. It's 20 minutes, but that's pretty long for me. So.
That hurts. That hurts me so much.
How long's your long run today, Lindsay?
It's going to be 2 hours.
Oh my god.
See, that's long to me as well.
Okay, so when I'm 8 minutes in and feeling like I want to stop, I'll just remember that. She has 2 hours today. Wow. Okay.
No wonder you wanted to start earlier.
This is my life, man. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Hey, see you next week. This was a lot of fun.